The sun set gently behind the dusty streets of a small town. In a quiet alley near an abandoned warehouse, a tiny puppy shivered under a pile of discarded cardboard boxes. Her fur was a pale cream, but she was weak, dirty, and alone. The world around her was full of noise and chaos, but to the little puppy, it was just silence. She was born deaf, a fate that made her different from the others. She could see the world around her, but she couldn't hear the voices of children laughing or the calls of passing cars. She only felt the vibrations under her paws, and sometimes, the warmth of a human touch. Unfortunately, her disability was too much for others to handle. The workers at the shelter, the people who had initially taken her in, quickly grew frustrated with her inability to respond. "She's not like the others. She can't hear, can't be trained," they whispered among themselves. One by one, she was returned to the streets. She was just a puppy, soft, innocent, and scared, but to everyone else, she was an inconvenience. Across town, a young girl named Emma stood at her bedroom window, looking out at the streets below. Her heart felt heavy, weighed down by the isolation she often felt. At 14, she had been bullied at school for her stutter. She was quiet, often ignored, and had few friends. But one thing Emma did have was a deep love for animals. She often spent her days at the shelter, volunteering and looking after the animals, hoping they would never feel as lonely as she did. One evening, while walking to the shelter, Emma noticed something unusual. A little crowd had gathered around the alley where the puppy had been abandoned. Some of the people were laughing, pointing at her. "She's broken. Deaf pups are a burden." Their words stung Emma's ears, and she felt a deep surge of compassion for the dog. Emma didn't hesitate. She pushed through the crowd and knelt down to the puppy. The puppy looked up at her with big, dark eyes. Emma extended a hand slowly, not sure how the puppy would react, but the little dog seemed to understand. She nudged Emma's hand with her tiny nose, her tail wagging slightly, as if to say, "Please, take me home." Emma brought the puppy home that day. She named her Daisy, after the small, bright flower that grew in her grandmother's garden. As the days passed, Emma grew to understand the unique way Daisy communicated. Without the sense of hearing, Daisy relied heavily on touch and sight. Emma would gently tap the ground to get Daisy's attention, or use hand signals to train her. Daisy began to thrive in Emma's care. She learned to sit, stay, and roll over, all through the power of love and patience. Emma taught her how to find joy in small things, the feeling of a warm breeze against her fur, the smell of freshly baked bread, and the way Emma's gentle hands would guide her through Though Emma still felt the sting of loneliness, Daisy was always there. They shared something neither could quite explain. For Emma, it was as if Daisy could hear her heart, even if the rest of the world couldn't hear her voice. But despite their growing bond, life wasn't always easy. Emma's classmates still bullied her, and she often felt like an outsider. One afternoon, while walking Daisy through the park, Emma overheard a conversation among her peers. "What's up with that dog? Doesn't even hear anything. It's like she's useless. No wonder they're both alone." The words cut through Emma, deeper than anything she had ever felt before. She felt the tears start to well in her eyes, but Daisy, sensing her distress, gently nudged her hand with her nose. Emma bent down, wrapping her arms around the dog. Daisy's unconditional love was her only solace in that moment. One fateful morning, Emma woke up to find Daisy acting differently. She was lethargic, barely moving, and didn't respond when Emma called her name, though Emma knew Daisy couldn't hear. Still, Emma had grown so accustomed to their silent language that she could feel something was wrong. She rushed Daisy to the vet, but it was too late. The diagnosis was grim. Daisy had a rare infection that was already advanced. The vet gave Emma a sympathetic look, his words heavy with sorrow. "I'm so sorry, but there's not much we can do. The infection has spread too far." Emma held Daisy close, her tears falling onto the dog's soft fur. Daisy looked up at her, her eyes full of trust, and for a brief moment, Emma felt as though they shared a silent understanding. She had never felt such a pure connection with another living being before. For the next few days, Emma stayed by Daisy's side, doing everything she could to make her feel comfortable. Daisy seemed to appreciate every moment they had left, curling up in Emma's lap, offering her the same comfort and love she had always shown. The final morning came too soon. Daisy passed away in Emma's arms, her breathing slowing until it stopped completely. Emma sobbed, holding her puppy close, unable to understand why such a sweet, innocent soul had to suffer. Days passed after Daisy's death, and Emma felt as though a piece of her heart was missing. She felt empty, the silence in her room louder than ever before. But slowly, she realized that Daisy had taught her something incredibly precious. Daisy had shown her that love wasn't about being perfect. It wasn't about fitting into the expectations of others. It was about accepting someone for who they were, flaws and all. Emma began to speak more at school, gaining confidence. Her stutter, which once made her feel ashamed, became a part of her. She joined the Animal Rights Club and started working with other people to raise awareness about the needs of disabled animals. Emma no longer felt so alone. The memory of Daisy, her silent friend, lived on in her heart, a reminder of the strength they had found in each other. And though Daisy was gone, her love, her silent presence, and her lessons of compassion would stay with Emma forever.